Yeah.
And then you take this hypothetical case of a woman, Mrs. X, you don't want to name, who before the death of her husband had been living happily with him. Then suddenly the cold hands of death takes her husband away, or her husband dies after a protracted illness. Mrs. X will be in trouble as she will be faced with multiple problems arising from the death of her husband. And then you went on to narrate how at times such women are asked to drink the water used to
invading the man. Yes, the corpse.
The corpse.
Yes, just to
the dead
show her
husband.
innocence.
That really happens.
Yes.
I've heard about that. I've seen that in a few Nollywood movies. I wasn't sure whether they are true, whether it's true.
It happens in, like my book actually centers on rural communities. A lot of things happen.
Because that's where a lot of things happen.
Yes, a lot of things happen there. When you are in Lagos, you are in Abuja, some of these, because the women know their right, most of the women living there know their right. But when you go to rural communities where even what the man owns with the woman, after the death of that man, is taken away from the woman, because it's assumed that she is not part of the family. And woe betide her if she doesn't have a male child. That would be a double tragedy. So that is why you see a lot of women go extra miles to get a male child. Why? It shouldn't be so.
And from your narrative here, once the husband dies, she becomes the accused.
You see, that is actually when
people begin to say she's the one that killed her husband.
A widow has multiple issues. A widow, she has lost her husband. She has the children to take care of. She has lost her companion, somebody she can relate with. This will affect her psychologically, emotionally, and otherwise. And now, she has family members who are now accusing her that her hand must be in the death of this man. So you can imagine a woman who is living happily with the husband, and suddenly the husband dies for whatever reason, and this woman, instead of the family to sympathize with her, they are accusing her. So you see where the tragedy comes in. So she's not just suffering the loss of the man, she's also suffering other things.
This story you narrated here about Mrs. X, I was almost crying when I read it.
Yes.
I thought this is fiction.
There are worse things that has happened.
They will bathe the dead corpse.
Yes.
Then the water, they will put it in a cup.
Yes.
And she has to drink it.
She has to drink it.
Then they will check for 6 months whether she lives or dies.
And remember, that's disease she has taken. And if when anything happens to her, they now say, oh, you can see that she's liable.
And you said they will lock her up with the corpse for days.
Yes.
The dead corpse. The corpse is dead.
It's already dead.
Yeah. So they lock her up with the corpse for days.
And I have a schoolmate. She was taken to the bush. You'll be taken to the forest. They just have to do...
So this is somebody you know?
Somebody I know, my schoolmates.
Taken to the forest for what?
You'll be taken to... You have to go to the gods to swear to,
Just to be sure that you're not the one that killed
the man.
Your husband that died.
Yes.
Now, from your book here, you blame culture and tradition primarily.
Yes.
Because there's enough really in our laws to take care of these things. Is that correct?
No, I blame our culture, tradition, and also the laws.
In terms of implementation,
we have these laws, but it's not being implemented.
Not being implemented.
Yes, because we have several landmark resolutions, like the celebrated Beijing affirmative action, 1995, and the CEDAW, Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. All these are international conventions that's recommended and suggested, what to do concerning the gender. But they are domesticated. We are signatory to them, but we don't implement them.
Why are our traditions and cultures, why are they so anti-women? Why? What?
I think I should ask you that question because you're a man. Because, yes, if while growing up, you know this and I know it. While growing up, even now, though things are really changing a little, but even now it happens. If a woman is having male children, she may not really bother if there is a woman, if she has a female child or not. The man, you might think they bother, but not really. But if a woe betide a woman who is just having female children, at least while growing up, now things are changing a little, but even in the rural communities, it's still there. When you're having female children, they give you a sort of names. If maybe you are comfortable a little bit, they may say something like, I know people that they have said such things like, you are building, these houses you are building, who are you building these houses for? So, that's the tradition. I know somebody whose wife had, the first child was a girl, the second was a girl, I think the third one, when they discovered through scan that is a girl, the man did not take her to the clinic when she was in labor. Yes. Because he assumed she's going to have the same girl, so do I need a girl? No.
I'm a man, but unfortunately I can't answer that question myself.
Well,
why the traditions and culture are very chauvinistic, if you may.
I think they have this notion that a woman is married out of her family to answer another man's name, while the man is in the father's compound. He doesn't move anywhere. So it's the man that's kind of, there's that kind of extension from the father to the son, but the woman is out. So you see, our tradition just sees it that, these women, they are not too important because after all, you're going to marry them away. So that's where we have, I think that's part of the tradition, why they think that women are not to be compared or of equal standing with men.
Unfortunately, we have to stop here, here. There's so much in your book. It's very enlightening, very revealing. Thank you very much for joining us on the Channels Book Club.
You're welcome.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.